Hi, how are you, boys and girls? Who do I see out there? Do I see Jayla and Adam and Presley, Abra, Dylan, Ashton, Maddie? Let me see. Eileen, Machiavelli. Oh, such beautiful names. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to do a new story. I promised you Clip Clop, so I'm going to tell you the story about Clip Clop. Now, remember, yesterday was the first day of Christmas, and that was the partridge of a pear tree. Today is the second day of Christmas because it's almost Christmas time. And what are we celebrating? We're celebrating the birth of Jesus. Jesus came that day under a beautiful star up in the sky. And who brought Jesus to Bethlehem where he was born? Mary and Joseph and a donkey named Clip Clop. So I'm going to stop this music that we don't own the rights to, but everybody knows these Christmas songs and loves them. And I'm going to stop the music while I tell you about Clip Clop, okay? Alexa, pause. All right. Now, this is the story about this guy. My name is Clip Clop, and this is my amazing story. I witnessed the greatest miracle the world has known. Let me start from the beginning. I belonged to a man named Reuben of the city of Nazareth, and Reuben was a cruel master. He often beat me. I was bigger than the average donkey, so he made me carry heavy loads that I could barely handle. And here's poor Clip Clop carrying all that load. Those things were probably really heavy because they were filled with something. One day, he overloaded me with clay water pots. They were so heavy that I finally slipped and fell, and the load shifted on my back. As I went down and smashed those pots into 1,000 pieces, Reuben was furious. He began to beat me. I tried to get up, but my leg hurt so badly that I couldn't stand. And here's poor Clip Clop laying on the ground with his master Reuben about to beat him. How sad. I thought he would surely kill me when all of a sudden a strong voice said, "Don't hit that donkey. Another blow." And I looked and I saw a man holding Reuben's arm in a tight grip. Reuben was mad. A hand appeared, and that's what Clip Clop saw. The stranger said, "Do you want to sell this animal?" To which Reuben said, "Gladly." The man named a price. "Sold," said Reuben, "and good riddance." And so here's the man giving money to Reuben to buy poor Clip Clop. Then this man bent over me and he began to talk me to me, and I understood everything he said. "You won't get any more beatings from me, little fella. But first, let's look at that leg." And here's this kind new man talking to Clip Clop on the ground. See? He took some oil from a pouch that was on his donkey and he began to massage my legs with the oil. It hurt at his touch and began to sting and burn, but then all of a sudden it began to feel cool. Here's the man rubbing oil on poor Clip Clop's leg. And after a few minutes, he said, "Let's see if you can stand." And immediately I stood up. Look at Clip Clop. He looks happy now, doesn't he? All right, let me know if I'm okay. Wait, so are you. Let me know if I'm showing the pictures too fast, please. I would like some feedback. Okay, so let's go. So he took me home with him. Every day he treated my leg until it felt strong and well. For the first time as I walked, I noticed that I made a funny sound on the cobble streets of Nazareth. It was a definite clip clop, clip clop. I guess I had gotten into the habit of putting my weight on my three strong legs and was favoring my injured leg. And here's clip clopping on the street with Joseph. And one day I heard Joseph, that was his name, say to me, "Well, big fella, I've been wanting to give you a name. I'm going to call you Clip Clop." So from that day until now, I was known as Clip Clop. And there, see, he even got a sign with his name on the food. See it? There's Clip Clop, eating. That's how you spell Clip Clop. Then one day, I met Mary. She was a beautiful lady, and I know she must be someone special just because of the way Joseph would look at her. See, beautiful Mary, and look at Joseph looking at her. And clip clop, and you can even see the other donkey in the background because he had another donkey, remember? So Joseph would ride me to Mary's house. Then he would put Mary on my back and walk us out into the countryside. How nice. They would take walks in the country. So he was practicing and making that leg stronger, wasn't he? Then they would walk hand in hand across the meadows, running and playing and laughing like children. I knew that they loved each other. Then one day, Mary told Joseph something that upset Joseph. She told Joseph that an angel had visited her and told her that God had chosen her to be the mother of the long awaited Messiah. Messiah means Savior. We talked about that yesterday. And there's Joseph listening to Mary. He doesn't look so happy right there, does he? I heard I had heard the people of Nazareth speak of the coming of Messiah and who would be the king of the Jews. Most people look forward to this event, but Reuben, he used to say poppycock. That's just a bunch of old wives' tales. See, there's Clip listening to people talking about the Messiah who was going to come and rescue everybody. And now he was to come, and Mary would be the mother of this Messiah who would be called Jesus. Joseph couldn't understand all that Mary was saying to him. He took her back to the city and he told her goodbye. See how sad, unhappy he looks? When we left, I could see the tears in his eyes. Joseph was hurt. He began to talk to me. Why would she do this to me, Clip Clop? I've been true to her, and she says she's been true to me. But how could she have a baby? And there's Joseph looking so sad. He was so hurt. I wanted to sympathize with him, but we animals can't talk. So I just lowered my head and carried him gently as I could across the cobblestone streets of Nazareth. I hardly slept all night. Joseph kept his light on in his room till early in the morning. Then it went out. I tried to get some sleep. So we see Joseph in his room. And cobblestones are what the streets were made of in those days. You see, those are cobblestones. Early the next morning, he was up and seemed very excited. Clip Clop, it's all right. I just talked to an angel last night, and he said, don't be afraid to take Mary as your wife. He got on my back, and we really took off. In just a few minutes, we were at Mary's house. He knocked on her door, and when she came to the door, he said a few words, and then she was in his arms. Such hugging I've never seen. And here we see Mary and Joseph happy once again. In just a few days, Mary came to live with Joseph, and they lived together as husband and wife. The next few months were happy months, and all the animals were aware of their happiness. All their animals knew how happy Mary and Joseph were. Then one day, Joseph told Mary that the emperor of Rome, Caesar Augustus, had issued a decree, that's like an order, that everyone must go to his birthplace to register for the census and to pay their taxes. And here's Joseph reading that letter. But that's okay because that letter was part of God's plan. Joseph said, we have to go to Bethlehem, but I fear the trip will be too much for you. You are going to have that baby any day now. Mary said, it's all right, Joseph. It's God's will that we go, and he will watch out for me. He will take care of me. And there's Mary. You see? Mary and Joseph. Joseph's concerned because Mary's going to have a baby. And Clip Clop is listening to all of this. The day came for the trip. Joseph said to me, Clip Clop, I want you to carry Mary, and I'm counting on you to carry her as easily as you can. I understood every word he said to me. That was an important job, carrying Mary because she was with child in her belly. I'm going to take a drink of water because my throat's dry. All right. So we started out with Mary on my back and Joseph leading the way. The road was rough with many hills and grades. It was dusty, and we often had to move off the highways when the Roman soldiers came by on their chariots. So there they are, leaving Nazareth. Finally, we got to Bethlehem. The city was filled with many people who had come to pay their taxes and register for the census. Joseph stood in line for several hours. Then he called Mary to come join him. And there they are. You can see many people there to be counted. And that was so that the government could take money from them. After the registration, they looked for an inn. An inn is a hotel, remember? Which to spend the night. And whenever Joseph asked for lodge, and he was told, there's no room. There he is asking one man. At almost dark, Joseph went to an inn at the edge of town. Again, the innkeeper said, I'm sorry, I have no room. Joseph turned to leave, and the innkeeper saw Mary and said, wait, you may sleep in the stable if you wish. It is warm, dry, and clean. Joseph thanked him, and we found our way to the stable. It was indeed warm, dry, and clean. Joseph made a bed for Mary and then brought water and fresh hay for me. I could see that he was tired, but he was relieved that we all had a warm place to stay. And there they are in the stable. See? Early the next morning, I heard Mary say, Joseph, it's time. Then she began to give Joseph instructions. I dozed off and then was awakened by the sound of a baby crying. I saw Mary, Joseph, and a little tiny baby lying in a manger. They were so happy. It was perhaps the prettiest baby I had ever seen. Shortly afterwards, some shepherds came and said an angel had visited them in the fields. The angel told them to come to Bethlehem and find the baby Jesus lying in a manger. And there's the beautiful angel telling the shepherds who were tending their sheep to go and find Jesus. Mary showed them the baby, and they fell down and worshiped. For the first time, I realized this was the long awaited Messiah that the world had been waiting for. And there's all the shepherds with Joseph, Mary, and the baby. How awesome that Clip Clop got to witness all of that. Mary showed them the baby, and they fell down and worshiped. For the first time, I realized, I'm rereading that, realized who this baby was. That this was the baby, the Messiah that the world was waiting for. Then I did a very strange thing. I walked over to baby Jesus. I knelt down before him. I bent over him and licked his face with my tongue. Clip clop had met the Messiah. And there's Clip clop giving baby Jesus, the Messiah, a kiss, a besito. And that is the end, the story. And you see, that goes to show that even though when life is hard and when things are hard, it's always something good. God had a plan for Clip Clop, and he had to go through some bad things. Yeah, he had to go through some bad things. But you know what? Look how blessed he was at the end, right? He got to give the Messiah a kiss. He got to carry the Blessed Mother and be a witness to everything that happened. He saw all that heavenly glory. That's so interesting. So today, like I said in the beginning, today is the second day of Christmas. And today we celebrate the gift of the Old and the New Testament. There's two parts of a Bible, the old part and then the newer part. And the newer part is when Jesus, the Messiah, is part of that. Uh, and that the Bible teaches us about the world that God created and draws us closer to him through his son Jesus in the second part of the Bible. So maybe someone can read the Bible to you. Hi, Greg. Let's say hi to Greg and Nana and David, who are also listening. Thank you for listening. So tomorrow, I'm not sure about the time. My days are crazy, but tomorrow we're going to read about the third day of Christmas. And tomorrow we'll have a more traditional traditional story. We're going to read about Frosty the Snowman, and Miss Helen might sing. We'll see. God bless you, everybody. And today is also a saint, Saint John of the Cross. Today is Saint John of the Cross Day. So remember that today is a saint day. Almost every day has a saint for it, but not Christmas, because Christmas is Christmas and that's Jesus's day. So remember that there's some days are just set aside as holy feast days. And I'll be happy to tell you about that as we go through our 12 days of Christmas. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you and have a good evening. Bye bye.